So here I am in my studio. It's still a work in progress. I'm still getting there. But I wanted to show you quickly, excuse my dog in the background. I wanted to show you quickly what I've just been doing in here. So when I did my mold making the other day of my hedgehog, I actually did it in here. So I brought across one of my glide frames. I got that from Amazon. And this holds all my cameras and speakers, microphone, and lighting and everything else. So I've moved it obviously. Yeah, so you can see I did my mold making here. And this is where I did my hedgehog. And as you can see, still here. I'm about to go into the room at the moment. So I just wanted to show you that I have that set up so I can do multiple different things. This is actually my boom, you can see here, that holds my microphone. I can move in and out. So while I'm in here, I thought, let's go and choose some colours from my Colour Passion range to do the hedgehog and the turtle. So I have got my interference colours, but I'm not sure I want to do the interference. I think what I want to do with the turtle is blues and purples. And I do have a blueberry, which is stunning. Look at the sparkle in that. You can actually see it. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Could use that one. Monet blue I've done before is lovely. Teal luster. Ooh. Teal luster. That sounds nice for a turtle, doesn't it? Yes. Let's have teal luster. Max gold sparkle for the hedgehog. I might add something in with that as well. Oh, should I do cream? Oh, gold shimmer. Ooh. White shimmer. Violet. So many choices, isn't there? There's so many wonderful colours to choose from. Right, well, I've got Max Gold Sparkle to go in the hedgehog and Teal Luster for the turtle. But I think I need to have, what about Teal Peacock to go with the, yes. That's what I'm going to do for the turtle, I think. All right, I'm going to go now and let's do a colour for the colour. Should we do Cream Deluxe? I think I'm going to do the head Cream Deluxe for the turtle. Yeah, okay, that's our choices. Got them on my seat here. Let's go. I decided, because obviously I love these little bubble beads, iridescent bubble beads by Colour Passion. I just love them. What if, I know it's going to be time consuming and tricky, but what if I get some UV resin and tediously I put them into one bead into each of the spines before I add the sparkle or the cream gold. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet. What if I do that, do you think? Because I've still got these already mixed in UV resin, and as you can see they haven't set yet because I haven't exposed them to UV rays. So we can, and I need to use them up. I'm not going to waste them because they're too valuable to waste. So let's try and do that with that today and use them up and pop them in the spines first. And we'll use our little torch, which is here. And then we will do a sparkle and then a cream. I think that's where I'm going to go with that one. So that's my plan, Stan. Now with this one is a matte finish. And what I'm going to do to give it the shine after is I think I'll coat it with a varnish, just to give it that shine that I want on it. But I thought what I'll do is I've got these two colours that I've chosen, which you just saw in my studio, Teal Leicester and Teal Peacock. So I'm going to try and paint those onto the shell, and then I'm going to do the little legs and the head in the resin cream. I'm going to use today, oh I forgot to mention, is PUDUO, and it's a 1-to-1 resin by weight. No, sorry, not by weight, by volume. And it's a really clear casting resin. It's beautiful, very shiny. I'm going to, it's got lots of bits on this. I don't want bits. See if we can't get a little flow of paint. There we go. It will dry super quick, so we need to be lid on, in with your paintbrush. I should really have used a tinier paintbrush, but this is going to be tricky. It doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, crafting is not perfect. And that's half of the beauty of it. What I'll try and do, and see if I can, I'll try and clean up as much of the edges as possible, but there's no guarantees with it. And I don't mind if it's got the, you know, the extra lines, because a turtle shell is not perfect either. It has got different lines on it and different ridges on it. So really it's just highlighting those ridges, isn't it? If we look at it that way. This is drying already. You see how quick you have to be, because this paint now is almost dry. Oh, that's a bit thick. Whoops. Anyway, right, so let's get some more. Do another bubble. So don't do too much in one go, because as you can see, we don't want it to cure up too fast. And we just want to highlight these lines. We just want a bit of paint on them. Oops, that was a bit thick. Hopefully my head's not in the way. And you should have got a thinner paintbrush really, with just a couple of strands on it. So that's my bad, because as it's getting thicker with paint and drying, it's getting thicker, the bristles. Now, I do have other bristles. Let me just see if I can find a smaller one, because it's going to be too big. what I've got. There you go, there's a new one that's just tinier. Get rid of that box. Ouch. So, over there, some more gold deco colour. Oh, it's just the same really. There's just some little side lines that were more delicate, but the brush itself is not that delicate. And unfortunately, I don't have a thinner one. This will do the job anyway. And the paint's drying again. Because of my flu, I'm breathing a lot through my mouth, so if you hear me breathing, I'm sorry, my nose is still a little blocked, although I've got my voice almost back. I'm still not 100%, so my apologies. I don't mean to sound like I'm heavy breathing, but I am. Hopefully I can get this tidied up a little bit before, because I like things to be nice. I don't like it to be messy. And this to me at the moment is currently very messy, but it is what it is. Oh, so close and yet so far. Okay, so let's make sure that one's covered enough. Doesn't matter, it's messy. I'm not bothered too much, but I will try now just to tidy up some of the edges a little bit with some alcohol. All right, I'm sorry, I just did that off camera a little bit. It's a bit tricky. I just got a wipe, which was an antibacterial Coles wipe that I use, and I got my little hook, put it on the end, and I just gently wiped around. So what I could do actually is do the same thing in gold for the eyes, maybe, I think, in here, while I've got the pen and the paintbrush rather than black. We might have them gold. So just get a bit of paint on there. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see this, guys. I'm sorry, because I just want to be able to see myself what I'm doing. Maybe it's better that way. There we go. Make sure you get all the little areas. Okay, and then see if I can get that nose. Oops. See if I can get in there with that cloth again, because I've just gone out of the way. See, I've just wrapped it round gently. Don't push it too hard because it'll go through. And then you can use it as an extended finger and just take off that spillage. There we go. His little face is done. That's quite nice. So he's got a gold face, that's okay. What about in his little ears though? Should we put a little... Should we do his ears gold too? Am I going too much now? I don't care. Let's do his ears gold. Cute! Oops. I think I've got it all. Again, just get a little piece where I've not spilt, where I've gone over the edge. Try and show you that way, see if you can see. I'm just gently wiping where I don't want the paint. So I can hook a bead. All right, let's start at the base. And I'm hoping it's not going to trap bubbles, but we never know, huh? So this is going to be time consuming, but you can see what I'm doing. That was a diddy one. I'm going to try and get the bigger ones if I can. Some of them look bigger and then you put them down there and they look tiny. Come on, off you go. Off you go, possum. Excuse me. There's a big one. The big ones come off the hook easier. The little ones tend to stick. And I'm just pushing them into the point of the spine. Oh, could be a little bit too big really, but And if you think it's going to create a bubble, just move it around a little bit. Because you want it, that resin to get into those hooks. Now, bearing in mind, normally when you're using UV resin, you need a clear, what's the word, mold, because you want to make sure that you do get those rays underneath on the other underside to make sure it's properly cured. So that could be an issue with this, because obviously my mold is not clear, but these are clear, so it might be okay. I'm hoping it's going to be okay, but we'll find out together. Where's all the big ones gone? I'll quickly show you these as well, because I used them in this idea too. So I've used some mica powders in the background here. So I've got a black base. I've used some Let's Resin color shifting micas, and then I've put the iridescent beads on top of that, and then I've coated it in clear. So if you can see the color shift underneath glowing through them, and they change color, and the iridescence highlights the mica. So you can actually create absolutely wonderful things. This is like a drop bead for a necklace that I'm making just for myself, and I'm trying out different ways of using these beads. I'm going to go around with the UV resin, and I'm going to go around and try and do like a seal on it all. Otherwise, when we put the colour in, it could seep underneath it and hide the bead. Okay. I'm going to do some cream Deluxe. Oh, look at that. Wow. Now, when you're mixing a powder into resin, just fold it in slowly. You do not want to be breathing in any powder. You need to be having your mask on. You don't want this floating in the environment. You do not want this in your lungs. So it's important you have your gloves on, you have your mask on, or your respirator preferably. So I've just got my mask on currently. Normally I'd have my respirator on though, as you all know. Alright, so now it's in. Now you want to mix it in and get all of those lumps out of powder. You don't want any floaties in your resin, you want it combined. That is stunning. Cream Deluxe. It's actually got gold through it. It is gorgeous. Very creamy. Okay, so I'm just going to gently drop it down the side, and then hopefully it's going to pour into the head and any bubble will rise out of it, because I'm not forcing it down or pouring it down, I'm just gently dropping it in. And I can see blue powder in there. That's not great, but it's going to happen, isn't it? Naturally. All right, so whoops. You can see it's moving all that mica. Well, we will see, won't we? We will see. Hopefully not too much is dispersed. Do you know what? I've done way too much resin. Well, that was going to take a fair amount, but I think I've made too much. And what I'll do is I'll just cover the base of the shell with this resin, because then that way we'll keep the legs to be clear cream when we add the next layer. This cream is gorgeous on its own, in its own right. You could see if you was doing a geode, this would be just beautiful in a geode. Okay, I think that's enough. All right, so I'm going to add Max Gold Sparkle this time, not white, gold. It may look white, but it is Max Gold Sparkle. Pour some in here. Again, I don't know how much it's going to take. Save drips. I don't know how much resin the mold is going to take. That one took way less than what I expected. Wow. I'm going to put a fair amount in here. And I'm actually, before I pour it, I'm going to allow this to thicken, because I want this to Wow, look. It does not look gold, and then you mix it and it just changes before your eyes. Isn't that incredible? Wow. That is stunning. What I don't want is for it to all just drip and stay at the bottom. And since we've got a 40-minute work time with this resin, I'm just going to wait a little bit for it to thicken and give it another stir before I pour it in, giving it a chance to not all sink to the bottom before it cures. But because it's so light, I can't see that happening. I know the Max White Sparkle stays because it's so delicate. It does stay floating all through the resin. It doesn't just sink. All right, I've just poured some of that in there just to use up some of it. Might pour some in this one as well, but I don't know. I can use the rest of my cat. Pour some on there. That's got the one I was using the other day, the leftovers in it. All right, let's give it a quick spritz. Bubbles, like Magic's got bubbles in there. And pour. Now, I'm not sure, I think I've done way too much of this again. And this is not a deep pour resin, so what I'm going to do is put my fan on shortly, and then the fan can be on it to try and avoid having a flash cure happen. I'm just going to pour that all in there. Wow, that was actually a good estimate. Just let that pour in. Hopefully that little nose, might use my little hook. Those little eyes and the little ears. Make sure there's no bubbles in there. And the feet. You may see here I've mixed up a small amount of resin. I said yesterday I was going to do some of the cream deluxe just to do the legs, so that make sure that blue didn't go into the legs. So I've done that, and I'm just waiting for the bubbles to come out of it, which it looks like it has. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So, and I just mixed a very tiny amount, so I used one of these shot glasses. So I just did 5 mils and 5 mils. So even that I think is a little bit too much, but let's just pour this in. I'll just go slowly because I like to do this nice and gently so that we don't rush the bubbles in when I'm doing small amount of work. So yeah, I've definitely done too much. So I'm just letting it slide in, putting it on the edge, not into the dead center, and I'm just letting it slide in so that hopefully it will naturally push out any bubbles that may be there or that could potentially get stuck. So if it just goes in itself and fills in those cavities without overwhelming it, then hopefully the bubbles will come up and then it won't get trapped, which looks like the case in that little foot, in that little foot, that little foot. And I'm putting just a small amount at a time, and then I will flood the center. I just wanted to make sure those feet are clear of bubbles. We'll just make sure it's down into all the areas. There's no bubbles in there. Okay, be careful not to push on the mold itself, because you could potentially dislodge the mold from the previously cured resin, and then you'll have seeping of new resin going underneath and ruining your project. So just be careful of that. Don't press hard. I can see a bubbles popped up there, so that's good. All right, it's all starting to come into the center now. So I think we have filled those feet cavities as much as we can. And now we need to go ahead and fill from the middle. So I'll just pour it into this. Oh, let me give it a quick spray. And in there. And just pour a thin stream so you're not introducing more bubbles, and any potential bubbles in the resin can hopefully start to pop. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So we won't be able to unmold the turtle today, but we will unmold our hedgehog. And then we'll come back tomorrow and finish off the video unmolding the turtle. How does that sound? I'm going to stop there. Okay, so what we're going to do now is unmold. Oh, I can see a bubble right there on the edge, look. Unmold the hedgehog. Now, I'm not sure how this is going to be. Yesterday, as you saw, and the day before when we were making the mold, there was a lot of bits that I had to cut free from under the glass in the mold itself. So there may be, in the actual, in between the spikes, there may be rough areas where I've had to cut the silicone out. And we've also put the iridescent silicone beads into those spikes, so there may be air bubbles trapped in there, we're not sure. So let's have a go and see what we've got. And you know what, I will be making another one anyway, because as I said at the beginning, I'll be making 2 of these, but not necessarily on this video, so there'll be more to come. So you can let me know in the comments if there's a particular style or colour that you want me to try. Let me know. It doesn't look super shiny, and it does look bubbly from the UV resin, and it may be sticky because, as I said, it's not a clear mold, so it may not be fully cured where the spines are. I don't know. Oh, it is shiny there. Oh, I can see the iridescence. It's worked. Let's have a look. Well, it certainly came out clean and easy. Oh my goodness, it worked. Look at that. That is super clean. Look at that. I'm not so keen on the gold ears, I've got to say. It worked. Can you see the iridescence? Can you see it from those bubble beads? Tiny little bead in each of those spines, and it is glistening. It worked. And I'm looking carefully and I cannot actually see bubble holes. Possibly there's one there. It's actually perfect. Oh, I love it. Oh, look, on the ear, there's a bubble hole. Can you see that? Not sure. Let me put this lamp on. Should have done this before, shouldn't I? Can you see there on that little ear? On the outside there, there's a bubble hole. That's a shame. One trapped bubble. I'm going to just paint those ears again, because where I put my stick in to get the bubbles out, you can see I scraped off the paint. I'll do this quickly. You can use model paint to do this too. Brushing it on does take some of the sheen away from the gold, because you're left with the brush marks, but it's still nice. Okay, that looks better. Definitely looks better. Oh, apart from I've gone too far on the face with the brush. Let's get in there so you can't see that white as much in there. That definitely looks better. Definitely. There we go. So what do you think of my little hedgehog? Do you think it was worth it? I do. I just love that iridescence in those spines. This mould worked perfectly. So all that effort, putting it in the vacuum chamber, even though I had to cut out very delicately all of that excess silicone, you really can't tell there was ever an issue. Not on anywhere on it. You can't see me little cut marks, or it's certainly not stand out. There's a little bubble there, one bubble. It really has been perfect. Now, if I just did a complete resin pour, then it would be even better. I love it. What should we call him? Should we give him a name? Should we call him Henry? Henry the Hedgehog? Henry the Hedgehog. I just love him. He's just adorable. There you go, guys. So tomorrow I'll come back and we'll go ahead and have a look whether our painting those colours for the shell worked or not on the turtle. So I'll see you in a bit. Bye for now. So let's go ahead and reveal our turtle. I'm nervous, to see if this has worked. And I'll try not to break off the legs like I did with the plaster, but resin shouldn't break off. Fingers crossed anyway. All right, let's go. Ooh. I should have sprayed mold release inside the mold too, but I didn't. One leg free. Come on. There we go. That leggy's free. Leggy's free. Alright, all the legs are free. I think the head is free. So let's remove the back legs first. Oh, I am nervous. Remember, this was a plaster of Paris. There we go. It's all come out clean. Nothing's broke off. This was a plaster of Paris turtle that we moulded to see if we could get it to work. Again, I've got the glue base that's showing here. Oh, the blue powder's gone in. But look at that. That is really lovely. Those colours have come out nice. I'm not impressed with the gold, but I knew that was going to be messy. But I am. Let's see if we can't clean him up a little bit. Should I get a bit of So cute though. I'm just disappointed that blue, I knew the blue would spread potentially. That's why I held off from putting the cream in the legs. I'm just going to add some shine to this to bring up that colour. Oh yes, and the sparkle. Good call. Remember, the actual mould itself was always going to be a matte mould because it was moulded on the plaster, which is obviously not got a high gloss to it. So by just painting over with the UV, we can add that high shine back to what we want it to be. That's what I'm doing here. I do love those two blues though. They've come out really well, haven't they? They've got such a nice sparkle and sheen to them too. All right, let's just go ahead and move that over and move that over out of the way. Get our little torch. And we'll just give that a quick cure. Oh, he's very cute. I really do like him. I need to work on colours and how to stop the blue from moving. I do like the using the different blues on the shell, but I don't want the blue going in the cream. So we'll have to work out. I'll maybe have to pour the head first in the cream and then pour the body. There you go. Oh, little turtle. Isn't he cute? Okay, I've just decided that I don't really like the way the gold looks. So I've got some of the gold in here. I've got a little silicone tool. And I'm just over the resin, the UV resin, I'm just going ahead and painting in there with it rather than the brush, with the silicone tool. And it's just leaving a much crisper, nicer defined line between the pattern. Trying to think of the official word for what they're called, but I can't because I don't know. So if you know what they're called on turtles, on the shell, tell me in the comments. All right, so here I am just highlighting the gold that I've put on top of the UV resin to neaten up those paint brushes that were really messy from before I poured the resin. If you look here, it's a lot neater. I much prefer it, and then by coating it over by the UV resin, I've now sealed that paint in so it won't come off. So I'm much happier with the overall product now. The shell looks divine. And the beautiful iridescence there in the spikes of the hedgehog are stunning. And I'm really happy with it. So tell me, which one do you prefer better? Do you like the turtle better or the hedgehog better? Or do you like them both the same? Can you let me know in the comments? That would be really great, because I'd really like to know. If you like my video, can you please like and share my video, because that way I can reach a bigger audience and grow my channel. That would really help if you could share it. Leave a comment, as I say, about which one you prefer, or if you like them both, or which part you think I should have done or I shouldn't have done. Then go ahead and hit the bell, so that way you'll get notified when I release my next video. Well, that's it for now. Thanks very much for watching, and take care and enjoy your resin. Bye-bye.